Hey, wealthy people, consider this. 30,000, 400K, over $500,000 is a lot of money that you can use to your advantage down the line. It sucks that all that money for many people has to go to debt.
I had a conversation with a relative who said that their student loan payments spiked big time, all the way up to $700 a month. That is insane. That is unsustainable. And he tells me that that's his minimum payment too, which means if you understand how these student loans work, he will pay that $700 a month for 20 years. And at the end of it, will owe the same or possibly more. These student loan systems are predatory. They are a drain on the economy. Because of that $700 a month obligation, that's less money to build a business, to buy things, to grow a family, to upgrade his living situation. The attack on the working class needs to stop. I understand it's a popular talking point on the right to say, oh, you took a loan out, you pay it back. They are paying it back many times over. The interest is predatory. What part of that is not getting through to people? This is unsustainable. I'm going to do what I can to help my family, but this is crazy, and it's not going to help anyone. No one benefits from this. That's all I got to say.
I owe $103,000 in student loan debts. I think the government took advantage of me. I didn't know any better. I was a first-generation graduate, grew up in a small town, poor town, used to shop at the dollar store for clothes. I didn't understand the ramifications of borrowing money from the government and had no one to explain it to me. Reading a document wasn't enough because I didn't make that connection that I needed of how serious it was borrowing money from the government. I literally thought, oh my God, I'll be making $30-some thousand as a teacher. I can afford to pay that off. Nobody told me that $30,000 wasn't a lot of money. It's because the people I grew up with didn't even make that. So to them, that was a lot of money. Man, the system failed us. So no, I'm not going to pay them back. You took advantage of me. Now that last $23,000, I'll pay that back because I knew better then. I knew what I was doing. So I'll pay that back. But the other $83,000, nah, y'all took advantage of me. So I don't know where you're going to get it from, but you don't get it from me.
Give an update on student loans and what my repayment is looking like. I'm an orthopedic surgery resident in New York City, and I'm starting to pay my med school loans back starting this month. So I have about $400,000 in student loans to pay off. I have the income-based repayment plan. I also consolidated all of my loans. So I had like almost 20 different loans throughout medical school because I just took them out at different times. I thought I was going to use less than I needed, and then I ended up taking more, and they all had different interest rates. So for my peace of mind, I decided to consolidate. I also consulted my brother and ChatGPT to ask for help, and I just decided that consolidating was the best way to do it. So I consolidated, and I have a total interest rate of 7%. My gross income for this year as an intern is $89,000, and my monthly repayment for the rest of the year is going to be $541. After doing a lot of research and talking to customer service at my loan servicer, they told me that this was the plan that was going to give me the lowest monthly payment. There used to be a plan that was a lot cheaper called the SAVE program, but it's basically going to be taken away because of new laws. $541 does sound like a lot, but actually with my budget, I am still able to save for my Roth IRA and other retirement funds, and everything's going to be okay. Let me know if you have any questions.
This $90,000 student loan, it all started with a promise. I got my bachelor's from University of Phoenix after my associates, believing it would open doors. Instead, I graduated into a divorce and a recession where hiring managers told me my online degree wasn't real. The shame stuck. I went back to a state school to feel legitimate, deferring my loans and digging the hole deeper. For years, I was trapped in a cycle of fear, paying the minimum, then stopping during the pause, convinced I'd never earn enough to tackle it. This debt isn't just money. It's years of feeling like I wasn't enough. I'm done with that story. Now every payment I make is me finally proving myself wrong. If you've ever felt stuck by a decision from your past, tell me I'm not alone in the comments. What's your debt story?
$500,000 in debt. How am I actually going to pay off these loans? Nobody thought that my joke earlier was funny. which I'm kind of bummed about. I'm still gonna pay my loans even if I don't want to. So I have like a couple aspects to my loan. I have my government loans, I have my private loans from like undergrad, and then I have like a private loan slash scholarship that I'm probably just gonna convert to a loan and pay. In regards to my government loans, my plan is that I'm going to be paying the minimum amount and try to get onto the like save plan, and then my plan is to try to do the public service loan forgiveness if it's still around. After 10 years of payments, I'll still probably be paying around $120,000 to $150,000 in those loans, but I'll have $100,000 that should get forgiven. As for the other two loans, I currently have them separated. I didn't consolidate them. So the one that is a loan slash scholarship, it is through the Inland Empire Health Plan, and this is if you commit to working 5 years in the Inland Empire after graduation, they will pay for your tuition and cancel out all of the accrued interest. When I first went into medical school, I really thought that I wanted to stay in California. However, now that I no longer live in California, my husband and I really like where we're at, and we would rather pay to have the freedom to stay where we are. It would cost a lot to move back, and the cost of living in California is so high that really I don't think that it would make much of a difference. Now, if we decide not to do that, then I would take that loan as well as my undergrad private loans, and I'm going to consolidate them into one, and then I'm going to try to make like monthly payments on those. This should lower the interest rate because my interest rate now is like 7 or 8%, and that should hopefully save me some money. My other plan is that after residency, I plan to work extra shifts higher than the amount for a full-time ED physician. Full-time EM physicians, it's usually around 12 shifts a month to get our like yearly annual salary that you see as like the I don't know the amount that people make. The hope is to continue working like I'm in residency, so working anywhere between 15 to 20 shifts a month, probably erring on the side of like 15 to 18ish, and then taking all that extra money and dumping it into my student loans. I'm also going to try to get a job that has a nice sign-on bonus so that I can take that lump sum and also put it towards my loans as well. My other plan is to continue to enter the lottery, and hopefully I'll win the lottery and that'll pay them. If you have any other questions regarding medical school student loans, how to pay them, what the differences are, different options for scholarships, I'd be happy to answer them as best as I can.
Hi, my name's Danny, and I'm in $180,000 worth of debt. You heard that right, $180,000. Every time I think about that, it makes every sort of negative emotion run through my head, and to be completely honest, it makes me wish I never went to college. I just have to be thankful that I have a job that allows me to keep up with my payments. To college for 5 years after my freshman year. Decided to transfer. I was super unhappy. Unhappy at the college, unhappy with my major. I was failing. I just wasn't in a good headspace, and I decided, okay, maybe this isn't for me. So I went from one private university to another private university, and as you know, private schools can make their own rules. So out of an entire year completing courses, I don't know, somewhere between like 20 and 24 credits, 9 of my credits transferred. 9. So like 3 classes. That set me back a lot, and I had to do a whole extra year. Yes, I did. 5 years, 2 private colleges. It was actually about $190,000, but I've been paying it for 3 years now, so I'm down to like 178 and some change. So yeah.
We could be living such a bigger lifestyle than the lifestyle that we're living if we didn't have student loans. But still, like, our monthly student loan payment is like basically the same as our rent. So it completely has a major detriment to the lifestyle that we can live, even though we are high earners. I couldn't have become a doctor without student loans, and even I don't have as many student loans as so many people. I know people that have 400 and 500K in student loans that are praying for student loan forgiveness, and like the opportunities for student loan forgiveness are looking pretty grim, especially if you're looking down the lane. Like, people are coming for this concept of student loan forgiveness, and that's why like the government has put a cap on how much you can take out for student loans, and a lot of people are upset because medical schools cost more than a lot of these like caps. But at the same time, it's like, this is a benefit to the people. Yeah, like maybe you want to become a doctor one day, but at what cost? Like, what cost to yourself? There are so many other ways in this world that you can make money, and so many other ways in this world that you can help people, and it may not be a bad thing that you're not allowed to take out so much debt that you're going to become stuck and a slave to this field. and you would instead be pushed to pursue other endeavors I know that you can afford to, or that the loans will cover, or that you can afford to do yourself. And then maybe if you still want to become a doctor in the future, you'll make enough money, then you can cash flow it yourself. And that's an even better situation for you. A, because you decided on being a doctor later in life, and B, because you don't have debt from it.